Late night TV comedians will be taking a pause, but it's not for the cause you might believe. No, it's not just the holidays that have put a hiatus on those who, well, just might hate us. The American public, that is. Rather, Colbert, Kimmel, Fallon, Meyers. Well, they're waiting for a day that you might not believe, getting ready to double down in a way that just might make audiences even more leave. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Our job here on the Pro Channel is, as ever, to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, and we do so despite the fact that the late-night TV hosts just might need to call us to find out what's going on with their own audiences. Folks, as we get ready to dive into the latest destruction of the great genre built by Johnny Carson himself, consider clicking the like button, and panel, here we go. Excuse me, out of Last Night On, this by Matt Moore, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert announces hiatus. Now, it's not going to be as bad and disastrous as that title might point out, but buried in this is a bigger story, I think, and I want to bring it to you. Here's what it says. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is closing up the Ed Sullivan Theater, but the CBS late night TV show won't be on hiatus for too long. 2024 marked another milestone year for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Sure it did. It remains the go-to option. Listen to this, folks. It remains the go-to option for political commentary. Late night TV, network late night TV is being declared the go-to option for political commentary. There's just one problem with this. Jonas, do you remember how Gutfeld has been performing? Do you remember that by any chance?
Fantastic. Yeah. Isn't he getting like double what Colbert is getting? Or was it all of late night combined equals what Gutfeld is getting right now with a minimal staff?
We see these comedians on the networks have decided they're going to go full-blown political. And now we're being told that they're the go-to political commentary. There's just one problem. If you go on over to this website called latenighter.com by Jed Rosenzweig, year-end ratings, Gutfeld sees huge gains in 2024. What you find out is that Gutfeld has an audience that is bigger than Kimmel, Colbert, and Fallon combined. And Gutfeld does not have a network. Gutfeld is on Fox News, a cable channel. So when it says that it remains the go-to option for political commentary, just know, folks, that's not true. That's not real. That's not reality. But we'll continue on because there's some stuff in here that you need to know. But the holiday season is a time for rest and relaxation. And that's exactly what Colbert and Company plan to do. CBS has put The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on hiatus until 2025. Every time I say hiatus like this, I'm reminded of diabetes. I don't know why. Anyway, maybe Colbert has diabetes. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's think about this, folks. Essentially, Colbert will have been on vacation from the 23rd until all the way late into January. Doesn't come back, right after New Year's. That's not what they're doing. Got to cut those costs, remember? So when will Colbert be back? And by the way, this is not just Colbert. When will Colbert be back? This is what matters. This is what's really important, okay? Fans should expect The Late Show with Stephen Colbert to return in 2025 recharged and without showing any signs of post-holiday rust. Exactly when that return will be remains unclear, but we think we know, and we think this is actually right. The most likely return date is January 6th. Everybody,
Again?
Yep, everybody think about it. That would give The Late Show time to celebrate the new year without jumping back in the middle of the week. In other words, it lets them not be in production anymore because late night TV ratings are trash. And so all the networks don't want to put them back on because anybody who's not on a fixed salary, right, they don't have to pay them. So if they're not in production and their ratings are trash, it's really good to keep them on vacation. But they come back January 6th. Now think about that. It also gives Colbert's monologue an easy topic to cover after the hiatus, diabetes, considering his past thoughts on J6 have garnered so much attention.
Right.
And why do we think that this is true? Well, let's go to NBC now. Is Late Night with Seth Meyers new this week, December 23rd to 27th, 2024? This is an article to tell people that he's not on. Seth Meyers, does the Late. So this is an article to say he's not on. But down here, guess what we find out? New episodes of Late Night with Seth Meyers will return on Monday, January 6th, and will occupy its usual time slot of weeknights from then on. So what does that mean? It means almost definitely that Colbert and Kimmel, Fallon, Meyers, they're all coming back for January 6th. Jonas, Vash, I know exactly what they're up to. The late night TV talk show hosts think that by coming in with hyper-partisan January 6th ceremonies, that they're going to capture back that audience. They're going to regalvanize the ratings, the people who left them, by diving right back into divisive, utterly crazy politics. I don't think it's going to work. Vash, I'll start with you. Do you think this is going to work, or do you think this just drives even more people away by them going hardcore into the hard paint of politics?
Yeah, it's not going to work at all. If we look at the polling during January 6th, there was a time at which it was a big news story and it was a hot button issue, and people were pretty unified in one direction on that. The recent polling has suggested that that's been completely upended and it's now very much the other way. So if they're going real hard in the paint on that specific issue, it's going to be a real big loser for them. Basically, that's what the polling shows for us. It's interesting. I can't go into the discussion that was had during this segment, but Colbert actually had Claire Danes on, interestingly enough, very recently. And, people can look that up and see what they were talking about, and why Colbert flipped the subject real fast. I think it's very revealing where his loyalties lie.
Yes, and I have to ask too, Jonas. I'm just thinking about all of these late night hosts suddenly coming back, and they suddenly do the J6 thing. And I'm reminded of how they handled the pandemic. When you had, for example, Colbert out there with the dancing, shall we call them for the intents and purposes of this video, medications, the dancing Kims out there dancing and swaying about. The propaganda was real, folks. And I'm just thinking about all of late night coming back as it's in this dire position. And truly it is, this very dire position. I'm thinking about them coming back all at once. And I think you could have a backlash that the networks are not anticipating, where everybody hears about all of this late night hoopla about J6 and about how Trump's coming back and all of this. I think this could be a very negative for the networks, that they need to think, if I'm, for example, if I'm Fallon, I think I'm not going to touch it. I think I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to go out there and make a lot of really funny jokes and try to be the counter programming to this partisanship. Is that how you would play it, Jonas?
Yes, actually, I would. If I were doing late night, well, first of all, if I were doing late night right now, I'm not sure that any of these hosts would be my host. Fallon would be the closest, because Fallon is capable of talking about subjects other than politics. Seth Meyers, I don't think that I've heard him talk about anything other than politics. Jimmy Kimmel comes out there and openly weeps. James Corden, I think he got canceled. I don't see the difference between him being canceled and no one watching his show. And with Jimmy Fallon, he can at least chuckle while someone else is there that doesn't have anything to do with politics. They need to be telling jokes about Wicked and jokes about Sonic the Hedgehog 3, or I don't know anything else out there. This, in the end, is the fallout from everyone, from too many Hollywood people getting their news from, I almost said Jimmy Stewart, Jon Stewart and The Daily Show, than they probably should have. That show was the epicenter of all of these people going out and creating an ecosystem where, instead of talking about things that made people laugh, they talked about things that made people angry. And it has taken years, and I think we're still seeing the fallout here from everyone going political for so long instead of writing jokes. It's a crutch that they have leaned on for so long that they've forgotten how to be funny.
Well, I don't think they have any interest in being funny anymore. I think their goal has been to drive a political wedge. And they've been playing to essentially one side of the aisle, and they're finding out that that's a minority aisle. And they have salaries that are so high that one side watching them, which also doesn't seem to be happening, but even if it were, it's not sufficient to pay their salaries. So this is unsustainable. They cannot continue. And if you thought, folks, that they were going to come back at late night and have learned a lesson, think again. Because coming back with the J6 thing, like you could time this. You could come out on J7, you can come out on J3, you can come out on J4 or 5, it doesn't matter. Coming out on J6, that's a pick that poisons the well. It's clearly intended to be partisan. That's the way I see it. So
it's the only thing they want to talk about anyways.
Well, they're going to have plenty to talk about, and TDS shall reign supreme in the late night hour, it appears. But unfortunately, I don't think that ratings will reign supreme. And I'm telling you right now, guys, if they pull the ability for the pharmaceuticals to run ads during late night, like if RFK comes in and does that, look out. Look out, because everything could come crashing down, and you could actually see the end of late night at that point, because it really doesn't make much sense to spend this kind of money unless somebody's giving you money to do so. And I just don't know where that's going to come from if nobody's watching. I don't know why anybody's going to say, you know what, we got to have somebody on at 11 p.m. Eastern. Why would you just not say, we'll run a rerun of something, anything, everything? In fact, I'll point this out to you guys. You tell me if I'm wrong. I actually think that if you put reruns of Johnny Carson or Jay Leno on, I bet that it would have, I don't know that it would win, but it might come close. And that doesn't cost a thing.
Well, the difference is that even though Leno was sanitizing his style at the end there in order to appeal to as many people as possible, the counter side of that is he was appealing to as many people as possible.
It's a good point. It's a good point indeed. Bash, who is your favorite? Are you Leno, Letterman? Are you Conan?
I was always a Leno fan growing up. And I thought his stand-up routine was actually pretty decent. Definitely a fan of Jay Leno's Garage, that's for sure. But his interviews with guests was where he got into trouble, I think. But a Leno fan myself.
Put this baby to bed. This video is over. Turn off the lights, but not quite yet, folks, because we do ask one final thing before we say goodbye, and that is, would you consider clicking the like button? Share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Also greatly appreciated, anytime you would like to share this out on your favorite social media platforms, well, we would love that. And we'd also love to hear your thoughts. Folks, drop a comment down below and use that beautiful mind of yours. If you would not mind, we'd love to know what you're thinking. Also, if you would like to become a member of the channel, it's as simple as clicking the join button. It is the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of new, cool, exclusive information. Folks, until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.